Hello and good day. I'm Cumulus, and here is your weekly astrology report for December 7th through 14th, 2020. A lot going on this week. We are between two strong eclipses, which are really changing the chapters for us going into the new year, but also concluding a string of dramas that has lasted all of 2020. We've had retrograde after retrograde after retrograde, and now this month, during this eclipse season, the planets are now finally moving at forward motion, the inner planets at least. So we're going to see some progressive energy. In fact, we're already seeing some progressive energy, but we're also seeing some overlap because we are in limbo. We're in the in-between zone. We've got the new magical things happening, but then we've also got some of the old stuff that we're still putting to bed, so to say. The past is the past. So what happens between eclipses? It feels kind of awkward because we have conclusions before we have beginnings sometimes. Things that aren't right culminate and conclude to make space for the things that we want to do next. So let's get on with the weekly energies here. The limbo phase is just represented by, we had this lunar eclipse November 30th, strong one in Gemini. So communication items, agreements, things like that coming to fruition or close. Repeated, conversations were like, I'm done with this or I'm done with that kind of thing. Non-negotiable changes bring, things to the table during eclipses, and then we kind of decide what to do with it. So this week, we're integrating what we learned at that eclipse, and we're being honest with ourselves and acknowledging that we are in between the past and the future, and deciding what to let go of, especially as we get closer to the end of the week. It's going to be very important to do those kinds of things as we approach the dark moon. But the good news is that we have these planets moving direct. Mars specifically in Aries right here is kind of doing a headline without doing a headline. Mars was retrograde from September 9th all the way through November 15th in Aries, and this is the kind of frustrating slowdown that we've seen with the masculine forces over the last couple of months. A lot of collective daddy issues brought about with Mars and Saturn, like an angry dad or angry coach kind of energy. What are you making of yourself today? What did you get done? All of these sort of old school and almost cantankerous vibes there. Really frustrating sometimes because we want to move forward. We're excited. We're like, yeah, Mars in Aries, because Mars loves it in Aries. It's the planet that is associated with that sign. So when moving backwards through Aries, it's like, well, wait, we have to fix this stuff first, or we have to, go back over the things we've already done a million times. Like, why? But I'm sure that we'll see that there's been some blessings in disguise here, where some of these endings or some of these reinforcement phases have really made us hunker down and focus on what's important and get strong. That's one of the key things of a Mars retrograde is it's a strengthening phase. So we've made ourselves stronger through this whole process. We're sure of what we want to be done with and what we want to move forward with, not only on a collective level, but on an individual level too, because we're all playing this out in some way in our charts. So very important week here in astrology with Mars moving at full speed now. It's taken a couple weeks since November 15th, almost a month, for Mars to get the speed back moving forward. And he's the go-getter, the doer, the accomplisher. So we can see this week getting a lot more done and accomplished through the coming weeks. And we've got one more little blip on the radar screen with Mars at the end of the month as he comes through to square Saturn again, but we'll talk about that, and Pluto. We'll talk about that in future updates, because we gotta just keep to this week or it'll be an hour recording. But this week specifically, get it done, do it. But remember, this dark moon here is coming up at the end of the week. So we're remembering what we want to let go of, and we're protecting our intentions, and entering into sort of a shielded phase come the end of the week, because there's a total eclipse in Sagittarius, wrong side cumulus, still getting used to this thing. Total eclipse in Sagittarius on Monday, which will really start some new beginnings for us here. So let's take a look at the calendar. This last quarter moon phase this week is showing us that, right here, starting today, that we are in this process at the end of the moon cycle about, deconstructing, integrating, and harvesting. Harvesting the things that we've learned and the information that was revealed at the lunar eclipse November 30th. So the one thing to start off the week here is we're going to have the sun in a angle with Neptune, squaring, and that can be very mysterious, adding a vibe of mystery to the awkwardness. So keywords for the week would be slightly awkward, slightly mysterious, kind of like my ideal date. Just kidding. But it's okay to not know things with Neptune active, because it's this sort of otherworldly realm of possibilities. And so sometimes when we have this angle, Sun and Neptune there, and then Sun and Mercury here on Sunday, coming into the weekend, there can be a lot of unknowns, and so there can be an aspect of distraction and escapism that is included with these planets, where we're not sure of things, so we just sort of run off, or we drink about it, or something like that. And I'm not saying not to do those things. I'm just saying that in a challenging angle like this, it's important to have the balance to explore and keep an eye on the spiritual and the new and the fun with Sagittarius, but also remember to dream, remember to take breaks, remember to do some self-care and some art along the way with Neptune. But we don't want to do the whole thing either way, right? We have to do both, and sort of go big or go home with it, so channeling imagination, channeling performance art, healing arts, anything like that will really use this Neptunian energy for its advantage. So as we get closer to the end of the week, notice we don't really have any other squares here. Neptune's the only planet sort of acting up this week, and that's really not even that bad. It's just a reminder that there's some unknowns, and to be super clear with your communication, and not leave anything out. In a more minus sign sense, it can be misleading. There can be facts that are not seen, especially this weekend with the dark moon. We have to be careful. We have to be guarded around agreements, and documents and plans and things like that. So if you have anything to sign or make official come this weekend, just remember to double check all the details, and make sure that it's fair for everybody, because Neptune square Mercury can be very nebulous in the realm of words and plans and agreements. And it can say one thing and mean another. It can say one thing and do another. And it can flat out leave out information and sweep it under the rug too. So to avoid those things, we just have a lot of clarity with communication. Keep it fun, keep it lighthearted, and really play with it, because we're coming up on some really brand new energy. You can even see it on the next week on this bottom part here. Solar eclipse in Sagittarius Monday, boom, new beginnings. Then we got Saturn and Jupiter entering Aquarius in the same week. So literally, this week is the last week that we're dealing with all of this Capricornian madness, let's say, that has been plaguing us for all of 2020, relating to governmental structures, business goals, future, that kind of thing. We've went through an extreme breakdown process in order to rebuild something new and exciting, with Aquarian vibes. Aquarius is humanitarian. Aquarius is inventive and next level. So we're not there yet. We'll talk about that next week, and I'll give you all of the information for each sign for that new moon in Sagittarius. But speaking of the signs, before we get later in the week, I just want to mention that the signs most affected by the eclipse, the lunar eclipse on November 30th, will need to really be careful to integrate this information, specifically Gemini and Sagittarius, because yeah, it's tough to have eclipses in your sign like that, and then repeated eclipses. You know, Gemini, Sagittarius, you're going to have 2 more eclipses next spring in May and June that will add to this storyline. So if you have Gemini placements, Gemini sun, moon, rising, you are most affected by this last eclipse, November 30th, and it's very sensitive. And I'm sending love and you know, all the good vibes to anybody who has had significant conclusions over the last couple weeks during this eclipse, because I've definitely seen it around. From relationships to pets, you know, to all kinds of things, where we're like seeing these kind of big movements go on that we're like, wow, okay, well, you know, I guess that's that, right? So integrating means, you know, having compassion around it and understanding, but also being able to work with it and to move on eventually into some new energy and use what we've learned and that kind of thing. So the other signs affected Sagittarius, also Gemini and Pisces were in a square to that lunar eclipse. So the mutable signs, you know, Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, and Virgo, definitely taking extra TLC this week to integrate all of the changes of chapter that you've been experiencing, and probably also feeling a little more of that limbo phase than the other signs. So as we approach this weekend, okay, we've got harmonious angles. So taking a look at Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you know, we notice a lot of sextiles and a trine there. Venus sextile Pluto is empowering for the feminine energies. That's involves leadership and empowerment for our relationships and for what we value in our life. So in Scorpio, again, she wants to keep it real. She wants to keep it loyal. So finding out who your loyal connections are, who your powerful and loyal collaborators and things like that. You know, if she's not in it to win it, she's not in it. You know, that's kind of what the vibe is with Venus and Pluto. And so, you know, empowering yourself to have love and harmonious connections is a good thing with this angle. And a sextile, you have to put something in to get something out of it. So make the phone call, reach out to the friend, send the message, you know, take a chance on empowering yourself to form a new connection or something like that, or renewed connection, given that we're at the end of a moon cycle. Or alternatively, if you're fed up and you've noticed some information at the lunar eclipse and you're still working with that stuff, it could be a good time to have those conversations and move ahead and move forward and be done with the past, okay? Because the last 3 days, 1, 2, and 3, before the new moon, which is Monday, are the dark moon. You can even see it on the thing. I put it on there. The dark moon energy is all about release and letting go and protection. You know, we're like psychically protecting, emotionally protecting, you know, and guarding around some of this misinformation, Mercury square Neptune. So that's one thing that didn't come up a few minutes ago is misinformation, you know, and we see that around, like on the news even sometimes, I think. And I don't like going there with these things, but it's just something really to watch out for on an individual and also collective level. Just being aware that, you know, what is the truth, what are the facts kind of thing. And Neptune square Mercury, nobody knows. Oh gosh. So again, awkward and mysterious. So making sure to protect yourself around that idea and have, you know, be imaginative within your own plans, but protecting against, you know, the lower vibe feelings when we start to feel that and we're like, oh, I'm getting stressed out, I need to watch 9 seasons of this TV show and forget about it, then you know, like, oh, well, maybe, there's something more imaginative or creative that could be happening in balance to that. I'm not saying to not indulge in a movie or television show during Neptune weather. That's the perfect thing to do. But finding balance in the square is really important, because that's where we get, things that come up as if we don't work with that and acknowledge it. So happily and excitingly, and I write on the calendar here the things that get activated. So in it, which is stronger than these at the bottom. But Friday, activation of Venus sextile Pluto. So that's when we're going to see another bout of what we saw Thursday with the empowerment of the feminine energies there Friday. And then Jupiter, Saturn involved too, because that's what's been going on in Capricorn. Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn, all heavy hitters, governmental, leadership, expansion. All of 2020 have been having this drama in Capricorn. And Venus coming through to sextile that, saying, let's work it out. Let's figure out how to take all of this power and all of this new energy and do something new with it. And so on Friday, we see that activation. So we could be seeing some positive connections happening Friday. And with the sun on the south node, we're moving away from the past. That is a reminder not to get stuck in the past, not to look in the rearview mirror too much, because we want to be very cautious and careful what we're bringing forward with us into our new cycle at this new moon on Monday. So that's the dark moon. We're being conscious of what we're allowing in, right? So Sun trine Mars at the same time going into the weekend. This gets activated on Sunday. You can see the little triangles there. Sun trine Mars and Mercury trine Mars is very exciting. So I mentioned Mercury and Neptune being nebulous and sort of mysterious, but with a trine to Mars, our action planet, it's saying that we have right action. We have right action, and we have alignment with the forces to get the thing done in the right way, even if we don't know. So we're following our intuition and taking a step this weekend just because we know we have a gut feeling. And Sagittarius and Aries are fire signs, right? And Sunday when the moon goes into Sagittarius, boom, we're like, yup, dark moon, donezo, with something, taking a step, taking an action just before this new moon in Sagittarius. So it's sure to be an exciting weekend, because it's like a positive right action combined with, this shielding and protecting from what was hidden or what was mysterious. So for some, you could be flat out removing yourself from situations that feel, for lack of a better word, toxic or addictive or, escapist with those lower vibrations of Neptune, and hopping on that high vibration of Sun and Mercury trine Mars is like, hey, I'm making the call, I'm doing it, look, we're doing it, let's get it done let's finish this moon cycle before the new moon so we can have some really strong new beginnings on Monday, right? So going through the moon for the day-to-day, I've got the void of course times at the top. Notice we don't have any really long void of course times here this week. Monday we've got moon in Virgo going into Tuesday. Moon void of course from 5:35 to 7:01 p.m. For instance, if you have a call scheduled during that time or something going on, void of courses tend to take their own course. So given that we don't have very long periods this week, in fact that's the longest one. I mean, Sunday already happened, self-care Saturday, self-care Sunday, good void of course activities. Then moon in Libra, Tuesday night going into Wednesday, and into Thursday. That's the sign of partnerships, working together. That's supporting our Venus energy of positive, empowering connections. Void of course, moon 7:56 to 8:59 Thursday night, and then the moon enters Scorpio for Friday, Saturday, which is normally not the most socially exciting sign, but since we have these positive energies with, Moon and Venus will be together, and going to accentuate these deep and loyal connections. So good Friday and Saturday to, find your loyal counterpart and, get into the nitty gritty of things, do something magical and witchy together, have a dark moon bonfire or something and burn write stuff down from the past and burn it or something like that. Very witchy Scorpio vibes, anything witchy and also sexual energy. It's kind of this like darker, mysterious vibe. It's definitely not the vibe of like throwing a party, while I know we have social distancing, but generally when Moon in Scorpio happens on the weekends, it's kind of funny because people get a little more like close the curtains, light some candles kind of thing, which would be perfect for a dark moon. So the thing I didn't mention, well, I did a little bit with the sun on the south node, but we've got Mars sextiling the north node at the same time here Friday, Saturday, which also shows a little bit of karmic movement here, karmic energies, things that have just been timed out to happen kind of thing. Where our actions almost seem fated in a sense, not that we don't have free will, but the nodes show us our karma, or where the universe is saying, hey, go this way, I'm showing you, like, go this way, out of this weird feeling vibe or weird feeling mindset, let's take a chance on new versions of communicating. What could we write up for our new movie or our new storyline? And it's not quite time for that yet because we've got the solar eclipse, which then it will be time for that. So it's important to make these karmic decisions here, acknowledge where the past is the past, and work on training our minds to see that difference of cycles that are concluding that we don't need to keep doing, and then making space, which can be uncomfortable, making space for what's new and what's next. Okay, so on Sunday, the Sagittarius moon brings about a exciting and passionate energy here with the Mars trine. I'm willing to bet it could feel like a very positive portal of change, because we've got Venus and Jupiter linked up there Sunday night, which is very positive for social energy and our value system and profits. It can be, where we're feeling cute, where we're getting dressed up for something. Maybe there's an intimate dark moon dinner or something happening Sunday night, make it cute. So Sunday night, Sunday evening, making it cute before the solar eclipse, having a beautiful dark moon time, and getting ready for making those new intentions after the new moon, which we'll talk about next week. So that's about it for this week. And if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer anything via email or direct message. And for personal readings, you can make those orders there at my website for sessions, half-hour or hour sessions. And this calendar, which is the most detailed calendar you can find on the internet, I've tried. I create this calendar every month, and you can have it for your own by also going to my website, and you can do a one-time, 1-month thing, or subscribe to get it monthly and follow along with these updates, which could be pretty fun. And then you'll also you'll know in advance, because you'll have like the whole next month, in your hand, or on your refrigerator or on your phone or something like that. And coming up soon, starting here in January, I'm going to have a full podcast that goes along with each calendar that will detail what everything means for you. So you'll be able to like plan and write some stuff in there, So that's that. If you want to do a personal check-in on what these eclipses mean for you, go to my website for the reading. And then also this week, going to do a new thing here starting Friday. Keep an eye out if you want just a quick reading where I take a quick glance and do just a couple tarot cards for you and give you a quick response. I'm going to start a new thing here on Friday, Fast Readings Friday, for a discounted price, which would be Fridays only with a next day turnaround. So just a quick check-in where you don't have to do the whole process, and where we go through everything in detail, which is like your normal readings. So enough of that. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye bye.